what do you think about overweighted people? Because apparently Asians don't really like overweighted people. Hear me out. I don't like when people who are born fit acts like it's their effort and they look down on people who are overweight or underweight. I have learned over the years that your weight, it has inertia, as in people are usually at certain weight because your body metabolism is at equilibrium at that state. And you can make an active effort to escape that, such as gaining weight or losing weight. But I have also learned that it's almost nearly impossible for someone to be outside their equilibrium state for a long time. So for a skinny person to be gaining weight and maintaining it, and for a fat person to lose weight and maintaining it. So there's a lot of people who are born at an okay weight, but they think they're making an effort to do that. But in reality, your body was already just close to that equilibrium. You'll notice over the years, people's weight really doesn't change unless there's aging and things like that. I used to think people who are fat and overweighted have low self-control. I used to think you just have to not eat. I don't understand what's so hard about that. You show lack of self-maintenance. But then I realized this idea of body equilibrium, and I realized if I can't bring my weight up and keep it, it's same thing. People who lose weight, I'm pretty sure there's people who are trying to lose weight here. You could make an effort to lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds. You know what the difficult part is? The difficult part is maintaining at that level. The moment you let go, you literally bounce back. In fact, you bounce back worse. I worked out years to gain muscle and I put on 20 pounds of muscle, right? I'm not even lying when I say this. I did that and I damaged my spine and I became lazy and I lost appetite. I went straight back and lost all that 20 pounds of muscle. I'm being serious. And I literally feel like, oh my God, what was all my effort for? I hate my life. How is this any different from people who lose weight and they bounce back? It's same. And also, you don't know if that person has gained weight or lost weight because of external factor. Like, you guys know Jeongyeon? I forget if that's her exact name, from Twice. She had a side effect from one of the medication that she was taking, and she gained a lot of weight. So you can't just say, oh, they're fat because they're not taking care of themselves. Because for me, I have a spine issue. For them, they have a medical issue. So when I was young, I really used to speak about this issue carelessly. Like, you should just work out. That's the only thing you could change. But here's the thing. Okay, I do also want to say, you could make an effort. So rather than putting down people for being overweight or underweight, I actually want to give insane respect for people who build their body. You guys know how I freak out whenever I see men's body? Okay, that sounds weird, but you know how I freak out at men's muscle? Like San's chest or something like that? The reason why I freak out is because those are pure effort. While you eat your delicious 불닭 noodle, what they had to do is eat that dry chicken breast over and over and shove it down their throat even when they want to throw up. Then you get muscle like that. So it's not just because I like men's body, sounds weird, but I also just genuinely enjoy people for putting in effort. So that's also why I respect them a little bit more than girl idols. This is not sexist because I actually feel like losing weight in terms of not eating is a little bit easier than gaining muscle. Because especially, this is a little bit more controversial, hear me out. You know how nowadays we have medications that could drop your appetite? There's different brands, and like Ozempic, I think that's what it's called or something. I personally don't really have respect for that. As in, I'm not saying you shouldn't get it. Guys, you should get it. It also gives you in a better health condition, then do it. Like if doctor prescribe you and you need it, do it. I'm not saying that's bad. But what I mean is, when I give respect for weight change, I'm giving respect for their effort and their ability to hold back their inhibitions, indulgence. That's kind of what I look forward to. But I feel like medication is not a representation of your indulgence. So, and the same thing with if you use steroids or something like that. In my opinion, using steroids is equivalent to Ozempic. As in, I'm not against it. I'm actually not. I even considered it because I really don't want to be skinny anymore. I wanted to escape from this life and I wanted to have bigger muscle. But then I realized there's so many negative side health effects. That's why I decided not to do it. So I'm not saying just because someone used Ozempic or just because someone used steroids, they are like disrespectful. Like, ew, like it's not like that. But I just give more effort to people who naturally did it. Even now I still consider steroid just a little bit because the way it works is you just have to do a little bit and it changes your body's, you know how earlier I talked about the body equilibrium? It changes that. Can you guys believe that? Just by getting a little bit, I actually could escape from this state. That's also why when it comes to athletes, when they use those illegal medication, that's why it's unfair, because it changes you as a person. Even if you stop using it, if you only use it once, yes, it changes your body. Steroids are definitely not good for you, 100%. Especially the steroid for muscle growth. You know how there's different kinds of steroids? I might be wrong, I'm not a medical professional. But anyone has here tried to gain weight or lose weight? Were you successful in it? I'm sure if there's anyone here who tried, you could relate to this. You know, I think the hardest part about trying to fix your weight is not the losing or gaining part. What I mean by that is, the first time you try it, it's not that hard. What's really hard is when you put in the effort, right? And then when it bounces back, and then you try to put in that effort again, it's hard because you think to yourself, I put that much effort in last time and I bounced back to this again. What's the point of me trying again? Because eventually I'm going to come back to this anyway. So the more you bounce back, it doesn't hinder your body. It actually hinders your brain. Like it kills your will. And I know there's a lot of young people here, but in terms of our older homies, older as in like not even that old, but like I feel like 20s and post 20s and 30, 40, 50. When you're young, your metabolism really handles a lot of the calories for you. But I'm sure you guys all know this, right? As you get older, your appetite is same, but the calories that you spend is less. Also because like when you're in school and you have a lot of activities, then you spend a lot of calories. But once you get a job, then you sit down and you drive all day long. You don't have time to spend calories. And as a result, you just gain more and more weight. And oh, Katie, you mentioned after kids, you know how a lot of you guys are girls? Giving birth changes the equilibrium that initially we talked about a lot. Which is why, you know how people who maintain their body shape after giving birth, they're literally superhumans. Do you guys agree? They're not real. They're going against nature, in fact. I don't even know how it's possible. They're on easy mode? No. I think it doesn't just happen naturally. I think they're desperately trying and making the effort because naturally, that just cannot happen. Do you guys agree? Naturally, your body gets heavily affected. Guys, think about it. Literally, you ever get a pimple on your face? One pimple, if you scratch it wrong, you get a scar. Imagine, okay, this isn't gonna sound so wrong, but you have to hear me out. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Imagine you get a pimple this big. Do you get what I'm saying? Like you get a pimple on the nose and it scars, but like this big of a pimple and it disappears. Like you literally become like, how do you recover from that? Like it's simply not even, obviously it changes your hormonal cycle, it changes your bone structure, muscle, everything. But like even just straightforwardly, your skin stretching, like how do you, like all of those are just impossible to fix. That's why it's insane dedication. This is kind of off from the initial topic of gaining weight or losing weight, but that's also why I really wouldn't mind if I get married to a woman and my wife says, oh, I don't want to have kids. I'll be like, sure, because it's just, I actually think is unbelievable sacrifice. Going a little bit further, can I be honest? I'm not trying to sound speaking against the men. I generally aim for gender equality, but I don't understand why. I understand why some women break the body equilibrium when, they give birth and things like that. But sometimes, I know it's aging and other things, but like, sometimes the husband gains more weight when the wife is pregnant. Especially when you see Korean ajashis. And it makes me think, like, I can't tell who was the pregnant one here. Like what is your excuse? So, okay guys, I really wonder what I'm gonna think when I look back, but body weight change as you get older is natural. It's just natural. But as a result, guys, I really, really want to be not dad body when I actually become a dad. We'll see how it goes. But do you see where I'm coming from? I really wish I could maintain myself like Lee Dong-wook or Gong-yu. I doubt you will. Really? So you're telling me eventually I'm gonna be one of those Korean dads with big bellies and like You're telling me I'm gonna be one of those dads? I can't even imagine. But my dad carries a jug here. My dad was very fit at young age. Now he carries a whole pot. Calling out my dad. If I call out my dad just a little bit more, whenever I'm with my dad, I sometimes look at his shirt and being like, why is this so, like loose in the stomach area? And then I touch his stomach, right? Because I thought it was, I thought the shirt was kind of like this. And then I touch it and there's like a solid rock. Sorry. Oh wait. Oh my God. The whole point of this talk was to not, to respect this. And I'm just dissing on my dad. Leave him alone. I'm sorry. Meanwhile, my mom just ran a half marathon. Can you believe that? She finished first place among group over 50. And I'm like, what? What? Like, is this real? And then she shared it. And I said, Mom, why aren't you freaking out? You literally won the half marathon. And she said, well, people don't necessarily care about achievements if it's not theirs. I'm like, Mom, what are you talking about? Like, literally, you should brag about this. And she told me how she's passionate about this. And you know what's crazy? Just shouting out my mom a little more. My mom broke her ankle a few years ago, and majorly, she smashed her ankle from golf cart accident and something like that, that she has a whole iron rod, titanium rod inside her shin. And she had to get several nails, installed into the body and things like that. And she's running half marathon. And as a result, I was having a conversation with my mom. And, I feel like I've been a bad son. I haven't really spent time with my family too much. And I kind of wanted to actually care and spend time with my mom. So I told my mom, okay, Mom, I'll go run on a marathon with you. I'm not even lying. I'm being actually serious. So today I was texting her and I told her I'll go on a run. I'll sign up. So this year, September, I'm gonna go down to Georgia. Not for long, because, I have to stream with you guys and, do my work as well. But I'm gonna book 1 or 2 day flight. I'm gonna go down there, run marathon, and then come back. Is it okay for your back? See, here's the thing. What excuse do I have at my age just because I have some minor back injury when my mom, she's in her 50s and she has an iron titanium rod in her legs and she, do you guys get what I'm saying? I kind of feel and my back issue is more of an issue when I sit down. So running, if it's not a heavy weightlifting, it's fine. So I'm gonna start. Yeah, you need to start training. I need to start training because right now I don't think I could even run a mile. I used to be able to run mile under 7. I used to be crazy. I used to be fast. You could tell from my body, right? I'm a runner body. No, I'm not. But anyway, so I'm gonna start training with, maybe with Sean. Actually, it's not a bad idea. I might go on a run tomorrow. And September, yes, I'll update you guys on the marathon. I think my dad's also running, which in my opinion, I don't know how he's gonna run because I literally just articulated the jug. Maybe while my mom goes ahead with the first place, me and my dad, one skinny, one fat, we're gonna be like, oh, Mom, wait. And we're gonna be all the way in the back. We're not even gonna be running. We're gonna be walking, jogging. I'm gonna take 2 hours to finish the half marathon. Yeah. But nice. Stop talking about the jug. Okay, I'll stop. It's I'm the twig and never mind. Yeah. But yeah, that's just my brief opinion about weight and things like that.